Just how bad is the skin contribution system in Overwatch 2? Allow me to explain. I took the time to count every skin that's been released since Overwatch 2, okay? And I counted them, and the rules were they had to be either a legendary or an epic. And then the base ones also count because they were released. And I took that number, I divided it by how many seasons there were actually available. So let's say, for example, Hazard. Hazard is there for 2 seasons, right? So I took all of the skins that he's ever had, I divide that by 2. Now, the exception is that this is only since Season 16 because I don't feel like it's fair for me to count Season 17 skins if all the skins have not been released. There could be a couple of bundles. There's the G.I. Joe bundle that's coming out. I don't know who got a skin yet. You know, there could be a little freebie in there. I don't know. So that's why, to keep the numbers as accurate as possible, it's going to be till Season 16. Okay? Just to let everyone know. So the characters with the most skins released on average is this. Number 1 is Juno. Number 2 is Kiriko. Number 3 is Mercy. Number 4 is Lifeweaver and Alari. Number 5 is Widowmaker and Genji and Reaper. The bottom 5 for the least amount of skins released on average, from most to all the way to the bottom is least, is Number 1, Echo, Doomfist, Vera. Number 2, Zarya and Bastion and Torb. Number 3 is Hog. Number 4 is Ball, Winston, and Junkrat. And number 5, with the least amount of skins ever released since Overwatch 2, is Baptiste. These are all of the character skin counts from most to least, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how many skins they have, what's their average. So, number 1, starting it off, is Juno at 9 skins, giving her an average of 2.25 skins per season. Kiriko has 28 skins, giving her an average of 1.75 skins per season. Mercy has 23 skins, giving her an average of 1.43 skins. Lifeweaver and Alari both have an average of 1.19. However, Lifeweaver has 16 skins, while Alari has 14 skins. Widowmaker, Reaper, Genji all have 19 skins, giving them an average of 1.18. After that will be Hanzo, having 18 skins, giving him an average of 1.12. After Hanzo, we have Sojourn, Soldier 76, Tracer, Ana, who all have 17 skins, giving them an average of 1.06. Then we have Sombra, Zen, Hazard, Freyja, Reinhardt, who all have an average of 1.0. However, older characters have 16 skins, Freyja has 1, Hazard has 2. Up next is Ramat. I forgot to include Ramat on this as well, but he has 14 skins. He's been out for 14 seasons, giving him an average of 1.0. Up next is Junker Queen, Diva, Lucio, Mei, having 15 skins, giving them an average of 0.88. After them, we have Orisa, Cassidy, and Moira, having 14 skins, giving them an average of 0.87. Venture is next at 5 skins, giving them an average of 0.83. Brig, Sim, Ashe, and Sigma, 13 skins, average 0.81. Echo, Doomfist, Vera, 12 skins each respectively, and a 0.75 on average. Zarya, Bastion, Torb all have 11 skins, giving them an average of 0.68. Then we have Hog, who has 10 skins, giving him an average of 0.62. After that, we have Ball, Winston, and Junkrat, who all have 9 skins, giving them an average of 0.56. And last but not least, we have Baptiste, who has 8 skins, giving him an average of 0.5 skins every season. To give you guys just how big the disparity is, Juno has more than quadruple the amount of skins than Baptiste on average since release. She has a 2.25. We take that, divide that by fucking 0.5. Guess what? That's almost 4 times the amount of skins than Baptiste himself. Now, I don't know about how some people feel about these numbers, but for me personally, I thought it was kind of strange. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say that there's reasons why certain characters do not get skins. You know, I've seen people say that the reason why Venture gets no skins is because low pick rate. But then we have Lifeweaver, who also has an extremely low pick rate, yet somehow he's in the top 5. Or they're not popular enough, saying that Mercy, Juno, Kiriko are just much more popular characters, which is why they get more skins. Yet somehow, Reaper, who in my opinion I don't even think has a very strong fan base, is in the top 5. To me, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What are these trends? Why do some characters not get skins versus others? When you look at the numbers, it really just doesn't make sense, right? You can't say it's because popular, but then we have characters who are not really popular in the top 5 or pick rates, because then we have other characters with low pick rates in the top 5. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my opinion. But there are some obvious trends, and I want to talk about some of them. And the very first one, in my opinion, that's super obvious is the favoritism towards support mains. So in the top 5, 4 out of 5 are support. While on the bottom 5, 4 out of 5 are tank, which would make sense because support probably gets more pick rates than tank. But then we also have tank characters who have an average of 1.0 skins per season, like Reinhardt, who in my opinion is not really attractive, yet characters like D.Va, who's conventionally much more attractive than Reinhardt, has a less skin average. The numbers, they just don't make a whole lot of sense when you really think about it. There are characters on here that are typically way more beautiful than other characters, yet they're at the bottom. I decided to ask the mains of the top 5 and bottom 5 for some insight about how they feel about their characters. And I also want to talk about my findings in a nutshell, as well as show you guys 2 to 3 notables post. And the top 5 subreddits, I asked them the same questions. How do you guys feel about the skins, right? About how many skins your character gets. Are you surprised? Do you wish other characters like Hog got more skins? And those are all the same questions that I asked for the top 5. So let me first talk about number 1, which is the Juno subreddit findings. First things first, nobody was surprised. Everyone thought that it was going to be obvious that Juno was going to get more skins. She's cute, she's lovable, it just makes sense. A couple of people asked for more Juno skins, which in my opinion was kind of like, I couldn't tell if they were memeing, but I did see a couple people saying like we need more Juno skins, which I don't know if they're memeing or they genuinely feel like they need more skins, I'm not sure. Some people did feel that other mains lack skins, and they were pretty, they felt pretty guilty about it, I would say. They're like, well, I wish other characters got skins, but we can't do much, right? I did see that a couple of times, and the 2 posts in my opinion that were the most important, which I'm going to read to you, were these ones. I always think about this one comment I once read on a post talking about Ramattra finally receiving a skin. Wow, finally a good Ramattra skin. I won't be buying it, but I'm glad he finally got a decent skin. And that just sums up why heroes like Venture and Ramattra don't receive skins often. If it's a low quality skin, they won't buy it. If Blizzard makes a low quality Kiriko skin, people Kiriko mains will still buy it. If it's a high quality skin, they won't buy it. If Blizzard makes a high quality skin of Kiriko and non-Kiriko mains alike will buy it. Wishing Ramattra receives a good skin for those who play him, even when you won't do anything. As we saw in that comment, Ramattra is an unpopular character, so the likelihood that all of the people who are begging for a good Ramattra skin actually play him is pretty slim. So when Blizzard did finally come out with a really good skin for him, no one bought it except for the few people who made him. Blizzard is reading the numbers and seeing it even when they put effort into the Ramattra skin. It doesn't sell. That's why they don't make skins for unpopular heroes. I will love a Battle Pass skin. That post made me think about some of the numbers, right? Although she gets many skins, a majority of them, if not probably all of them except for one, are paid ones. The only one you can get without really paying a ridiculous price is the Magical Girl one. That is the only one that you can probably get without paying $20 or $15 for a fucking Juno skin. To me, that's kind of crazy, that although she gets so many skins on average, almost all except for one is paid for. Every other skin, except for that one, Magical Girl skin, which is her mythic, you had to pay $20 plus for, which in my opinion is kind of crazy, because you would think for a popular character she'd be in the Battle Pass more often, but she's not. You have to pay for it. Even for this current season, her little cheerleader shit, you have to pay for it, which in my opinion is pretty frustrating. I can imagine for the Juno mains who just want a decent skin in the Battle Pass, but at the same time, it's also hard for me to sympathize with them when they have so many skins already to choose from, which you could probably get in not Battle Pass, but in the loot boxes as well. How do you feel about this? I don't necessarily know how to explain. Personally, I'm glad she's getting skins because I've been playing her a lot since she debuted, but at the same time, it's generally a sign that most of her unique skins have been shop skins, and from those 60% are collab exclusives, which means they most likely won't be back in the shop, nor will they be available in loot boxes for people to get the season after. Are you surprised by this? No, from the moment I first played her, I knew she was going to be the next cash cow for the game. She has some great special effects for her gameplay. She's really fun to play, and she became a prominent pick in a good amount of matches. Do you wish others got skins instead? Nope. As dope as that would be, the reality is, if those characters got anything less than a superb skin design, they either won't sell, or they won't just be in good use as much as Juno, Ryan, or Soldier would be. There's more of this feeling, but I'm not smart enough to put the observations in words. That's all I got. Kiriko subreddit findings. I also asked them an extra question, which is, are you annoyed that Kiri gets a lot of skins? And the very first thing I've noticed is people were asking for more. And there's a lot of, if they keep making, we'll keep buying mentality. I saw that quite a bit, actually. A lot of people were saying, if people will make it, we'll buy it. Or they're making it because so many people are going to buy it. And which was also mentioned in the Juno subreddit as well. A lot of people are also saying it's too expensive, that's why they don't even bother buying it. Another one that I also saw was quantity over quality. Some people were saying that although she gets a lot of skins, it doesn't mean that they're all good. Like, I think one person mentioned that, yeah, we have a lot of skins, but they lack custom voice lines, which is why they stick with the witch one. Underrepresented characters are ugly, boring, and the pretty characters sell. So nope. I actually saw that. That's almost like a direct quote from someone who said that. That's what they deadass said, that, underrepresented characters are ugly and they're boring. That's why they don't get anything. While the pretty girls, they're beautiful, love them, so they're going to sell more. I've also seen a lot of low pick rate equals fewer skins. And I also saw that a lot of people were annoyed with it, actually, which is kind of funny to me. I didn't think they would be annoyed. People understand what it takes to pump the Overwatch servers. A lot of people were saying that the reason why she gets so many skins is because it's what's keeping the servers alive right now. And I also saw a couple people saying that they only have one skin equipped anyway, so they don't even bother with buying any of the other skins. They just keep one. I think I've seen, the witch one. They keep that one on. And her, I think it was her mythic one. Someone else commented, I just keep the mythic on, so it doesn't make much of a difference to me. And two of the notice posts that I saw were these ones. I have a conflicting relationship with the skins. I hate how much negative attention it brings us, but I also love the fact my character is getting content. I'm happy for her, but upset at how it feeds into the hate for her. And then this was actually a response to the ugly characters comment. Pretty much. I don't even play Kiri. I play mostly Venture and Hazard, but I totally understand why they never get skins. Sure, I'd love if Blizzard gave them more skins, but they have such low pick rates that, from Blizzard's point of view, why waste time developing skins? They're not gonna buy when they can make more Kiri and now Juno skins. I went onto the Mercy subreddit. Many people were saying they're not surprised that she gets so many skins or that she's even in the top 3. It was not going to be a question of whether or not she was going to be in the top 3. She's popular, right? So the more popular you are, the more money, right? So that's why she gets so many skins. She's not only a mainstay from Overwatch 1, she's extremely popular. She's been popular since season 1 of Overwatch 1. When you look around at the merchandise, what do you see? You're going to see Mercy. That's why Mercy got her Nendroid. That's why she got a statue. That's why she gets so much love and just merchandise. A lot of people were saying that it is too expensive for them, so that's why they don't even bother with buying the skins. Once again, I saw high pick rates equals more skins. And I did see a lot of people saying that other characters should get a skin because, she's been here since Overwatch 1. She has enough. And I also thought it was pretty interesting that some of the Mercy mains felt a little guilty about the lack of skins that other characters get. Although it's totally not their fault. Like, what can they do? They can't just say, okay, Blizzard, make more skins, right? Blizzard is never going to listen. But there was some sort of guilt when it came to the skin contribution system. And some posts that I found that were pretty notable were these ones. From one hand, I understand why she gets as many skins as she does. She's easy to play, she's popular, she's pretty. I believe it's normal for a company to invest more into things that make them a lot of money. On the other hand, I sometimes do feel as if they're just releasing raid colors or lazy skins for the sake of releasing something for a specific character. I'll stand by the fact that her Royal Princess skin was made for the sole purpose of shoving out a skin that would match with her mythic weapon. I say this thus because she didn't get any additional cosmetics to go with the skin, i.e. spray, icon, name card, etc., which made me believe it. It was made to fulfill the prophecy of her getting a skin every season. Most of her skins are cool though, so I won't complain about that. I love Mercy, always will be my favorite. They need to stop giving her so many skins, ignoring how fucking expensive it's getting. I want to play more than just her. I like other characters too. It also generally makes me feel bad. I feel like a spoiled kid. I want to share the love. Damn it, we all deserve some good treatment. I do think she gets too many skins and will love a season or two without one for my wallet, lol. However, I'm also annoyed that female characters like Mercy and Juno get called out for too many skins, but most people don't put that energy to hating on Genji, Rein, and Soldier after getting skins every season. I've seen this comment quite a bit actually, even in my own videos, and you know, it does make me think like maybe I am a little too harsh on the female characters, but then when you look at the averages, once again, if we look at the Reinhardt average versus the, Juno one, we see it's double. It's still double. They still get more. And if we look at the Kiriko one, it's almost double. It's a 1.75 compared to I think it was a 1.0. That's still almost double the amount of skins. And then we look at Soldier. Soldier wasn't even the top 5, which is kind of funny to me. He was actually in the top 10. So a lot of people who say Soldier gets a lot of skins, he does, right? But he's actually not even the top 5 threshold. It's actually Lifeweaver who's in the top 5 threshold, which is kind of surprising to me because every time I see these comments saying, you're not talking about these male characters, no one ever seems to mention Lifeweaver. It's like Lifeweaver is the silent, top 5. Like no one expects it from him, but he is in the top 5 on average. So to me, that's a little interesting that no one ever seems to mention him, but they mention Genji, Reinhardt, and Soldier because they see it the most and they see like, oh wow, look at this other skin. But in reality, like I said, it's Lifeweaver who actually has more skins on average. He has the most skins on average for a male character than any other male character. I think Genji is right below him, right? But it's actually Lifeweaver who has the most skins for a male character, which to me is kind of funny. Next up is the Lifeweaver and the Alari subreddit. So the very first post I'm going to talk about came from the Lifeweaver subreddit. A lot of people were actually surprised because he's not popular, so a lot of people were kind of shook by this. And some people were also saying that he is the current cash cow for male supports because females typically play the support role. And that he's in a decent spot right now, which is why he gets so much love right now currently. And that a lot of people are saying that other characters deserve the love. I also saw a couple of posts saying that they deserve it because for a little bit, Lifeweaver is also running a bit of a drought when it came to the support skins. And I want to talk about, I know in the Lifeweaver one, there's more posts that I saw that were more interesting. So I'm going to include more than 3, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But it's just because I thought it was pretty interesting. Lifeweaver can wear anything like Mercy/Kiriko, then add the petals on his back and change his gloves. Plus he's not a heal dude and can be picked by casual players, but Baptiste requires more mechanical skill. There has been plenty to complain about with Lifeweaver over the 2 years he has been in the game. His skin's quality has always been like the one exception. He would get a skin every 2 seasons at first, but he's getting more recently, and I'm happy that artists keep cooking with him. He used to be a little unrepresented, but I'm just glad he's getting attention now. I hope some characters receive similar treatment as well. Never having been hated, well, like he has went through the initial growing pains, but most heroes do that, and hasn't really gone through a dedicated phase of active hatred by the player base like certain characters. On top of that, he's a very malleable in his design, yet he himself is quite flamboyant at base. But I think short of him trying to throw him into heavy armor, there are very few design spaces Lifeweaver cautious with. He has been seen in gothwear concept and he looked great. He can be slapped into any sort of casual wear and work it, no doubt. He's already got his origin in his scientist outfit. Vampire and the Suckjo grunge Weaver in ripped baggy jeans would be on point. He's already got anime hair, no need to be said there. So, all said, no, I'm not terribly surprised he's gotten a lot of skins. I think his design and character lend themselves towards being very flexible. And he's fabulous, which basically sells. From the Alari subreddit, people were also surprised and they started noticing a drastic change in numbers when it came to getting more skins. And a lot of people were also saying that they're playing catch up right now with the new heroes. And that she has a good amount of skins, but it's always like the epic ones are pretty good, but never the legendaries. A lot of people are saying that she gets many skins, but they're not very good at the end of the day. So there is a bit of an issue with quantity over quality, just like the Kiriko mains have said for their own skins. I think Alari was the first fan service characters, kind of a duet with Kiriko to sell skins. But it played into the fact that the character is difficult to use, has few sexualized elements at its core, and also, has a gameplay more that of a DPS. And they probably had skins and skin concepts ready when they developed it. Most of the legendary skins she had with battle passes, which now there is no way to get. It's personal taste, of course, but I like literally 3, maybe 4 of her skins out of all of them. I don't know. The Eclipse, Nightfall, Shadow, Night Raven, and Thrall skins all blend into the gloomy messes for me. and she has a lot more cool and different skin vibes in the concept art than in the game itself. It's a far cry from what they do with Kiriko, Mercy, and Juno. Of all legendary skins, she has 4 paid skins, if memory serves me correctly. All the other skins were in the Battle Pass. I can't figure out why skins are being made for her at a pretty good rate compared to the rest of the heroes. To answer the question, I wouldn't mind skins on Hog, Winter, and God save his skinless soul, Lucio. If a skin on Allari came out once every half season, but was always different in theme and style, I'd be happy. And of course, so that a potential Allari skin wouldn't be the second, or Jesus, third skin of the season for Kiriko, Mercy, or Juno, then of fucking course, I'd rather see a skin for Allari. What Allari needs is more minor cosmetics. Come on, since her release, she has 2 play of the games. Like, why? Juno has 4. Lightweaver has 6. Allari is one of the few supports with the potential to get a play of the game, and she also has 13 voice lines. There are no meme voice lines or voice lines to spam. The same goes for animations. I was pretty damn excited about the key play animations in the current Battle Pass. Sprays can be put in the same category. Personally, I never noticed minor cosmetics. It's not my thing. I don't really equip them. So I never noticed the lack of Allari ones. And the fact that like Lightweaver, who's a much more difficult character to get play of the game with, has 6 compared to Allari, which is a lot easier to get play of the game. It's kind of weird to me that she doesn't get a lot of play of the games. And that Juno, who's been out less time, has more play of the games than Allari. So that makes me a little sad for the Allari mains, that they kind of like get skins, yes, but they also don't get a lot of minor stuff, which kind of sucks for them if they do like that type of things. Next up is the Widow, Genji, and Reaper subreddits. So in the Reaper subreddit, all I got was that he has mid skins, so it's not worth it. In the Genji subreddit, a lot of people were not surprised that there's a more commanded fan base for Genji. Quantity over quality once again. There's notable more goofier skins like Zuko, where it could have been pretty good, but then it looks pretty terrible when you turn it around. Genji mains seem to have a bit of a guilt trip. A lot of people were saying that they would trade more skins for a mythic weapon for Genji. In the Genji subreddit, I found Genji cosmetics are in a weird spot because he gets the skin consistently, at least 1 every season or 2, which makes it hard to complain or criticize about them. People will just tell you he always gets a skin. I personally haven't been crazy of most of Genji's Overwatch 2 skins because they lean more towards the sillier / goofy side and are usually cloakier, bulkier looking, not to mention all the recolors. I love silly Genji, but it's been a while since he's gotten something badass or cool in my opinion. I'm hoping he gets some more sleeker and cool designs in the near future to balance things out, even if it means they put skins on hold for a while. And a lot of people do seem to agree with that. Like, the skins right now, like, okay, yeah, sure, he gets a lot of skins, but they're not that good when compared to some of his old skins like Oni. And then in the Widowmaker subreddit, a lot of people say it's because she's sexy. More popular equals more skins once again for the Widowmaker subreddit. And it's sad that there's not enough skins, which is also said in both of the Genji and the Widowmaker subreddits, respectfully. An interesting find that I found in the Widowmaker subreddit is, unfortunately, attractive female character skins sell the most, so they definitely favor her. She's probably one of the most sexy and iconic character designs from Overwatch 2. The only reason she has less skins than Mercy and Kira is just because she's not played as much and is a situational character. High-key, I only get excited for new seasons and collabs just to see her new skins. So, as a Widow and Bap main, I do really wish Bap gets more skins though. Sadly, Bap is quite weak after Season 8 and his pick rate has decreased significantly. I wish they buffed Bap damage and gave him more useful perks. I mean, I'll never complain. One of the characters I play the most has an ever-growing variety of customization, lol. But I mean, yeah, if more resources could be allocated to ensure more characters got the same treatment, I'd never be against that. But I'd be honestly selfish and admit I personally wouldn't be willing to sacrifice my character's cosmetics for characters I never touched like Junkrat or Sigma to get more. And honestly, I'm surprised Widowmaker gets as much favor as she does from every new shop drop and collab and battle pass. She's an attractive character, yeah, but at the same time, she's pretty vocally hated against among large percentage of Overwatch players. Not to extend a fucking course as Sombra, unfortunately, is, but it certainly isn't uncommon for both enemy teams and my team to be toxic towards Widowmaker players. While Mercy, Diva, and Kiriko and Reaper, etc. have a vast and diverse player base, they are/were staples of the game at certain points in the game, so most players have played them or could really swap to them in games, even if they aren't that person's main. Well, I feel like Widowmaker is a lot more specialized, is a little more reserved for people who are really dedicated to learning how to be effective with her inner kit. She's not an unpopular character, as she's always been around since the very beginning, but hopefully you can understand what I'm trying to get at. Well, it makes sense from a business/marketing standpoint to give the most popular character skins. They aren't giving the others, mainly the darker skin ones, a chance to produce the same results. Brown and black Overwatch characters don't get nearly as many skins as their white and Asian counterparts. And I don't even think popularity is the real problem, because Sword Jordan is in the damn near every game, overclocking us all. It really seems to boil down to a racial issue, and as a black fan of the game, it's very disheartening to see the disparity in the treatment. I'm gonna touch base on this comment again later on towards the end of the video, but I 100% agree there is an unconscious bias towards white and Asian characters in the game, unfortunately. Now we go on to the bottom 5 subreddits. I asked them, how do you feel about this? Are you surprised? And why do you think that is when it comes to the skin disparity of Overwatch? They're saying that for Pharah, she got too many skins at first, no event skins, missed opportunities for Pharah, specifically the Gundam collab. Community gets beefed for the skins. People have also said that it's because of the voice actress she doesn't get a lot of skins and they're trying not to get negative attention. Why can't the battle pass give her more love? And people also will love more girly skins for Miss Pharah. There's one finding from the Pharah community that I found. I like to share my take on Pharah skins, but I doubt Blizzard would do anything. Well, the Pharah skins have been very disappointing, even if she's been getting any. There have been several old ones I prefer to use, such as Gwynlong being number 1, then I switch off for Frostbite or Possessed here and there. To be honest, I love her default skins. They look so clean, so I tend to switch between the epics at times. I wish I had some old Overwatch skins of Overwatch 1, but it's a shame we can't buy them anymore. The Dynasty one is beautiful. I wish she had more casual looking skins like Aviator or flashy elegant ones like Gwynlong. Pharah needs some more love. It seems like she gets the shit end of the stick a lot of the times when it comes to skins. The only amazing one is Inarlis, and I suppose Porsche is alright. Could have been better. In the Echo community, people were saying that it's hard to make a good Echo skin. They dropped the ball when skins were out. Typically, like, a lot of skins are just not that good. She's the least popular character in Overwatch. One finding in the Echo community that I found was, this is not surprising, she is one of the 2 heroes least played, and this is kind of hard to make a good Echo skin. The problem is they keep trying to give Echo a face, but she falls into the uncanny valley. Even as Echo main, her strawberry skin gives me bad vibes. My real gripe is devs trying to keep that continuity, so they'll probably refuse to give her a hat. But anyways, Echo has some great skin, so that compensates it at least. Doomfist, I saw that people are mostly indifferent, and when Blizzard do make skins for him, they always cook, so it's always decent, and that they had a lot of skins in Season 1, so it's okay that other skins go to different characters of Overwatch 2, like for example Darker Queen, like she gets more skins because she wasn't there for Overwatch 1 and couldn't be there for that a long amount of time or stretch of time to get skins. And the Doomfist subreddit, one thing I found that was interesting was, well, we did get a bunch of skins back to back at one point. Our last legendary was Toxic, I think, so I'm not exactly hurting for more skins, but some of my brothers/sisters in Doom might want more skins. So I'm pretty okay, but I'm always gonna enjoy new Doom skins when we get them. I'm still hoping for Mythic at least next year. Let's have dedicated ones and don't switch off. So we usually just don't care. Lamau, we'll love to see new ideas in the future though. Orb subreddit, they were unsatisfied. Not surprised, just sad, which kind of, made me a little sad to read that. And they're also saying that Torb does get some decent skins, at least. From the Torb subreddit I found, I came after 2 years of not playing today, and I was thinking the exact same. For Zarya, I saw that it's because of Zarya's body she gets no skins. She's less popular, and people were saying that she's added for diversity, but was forgotten quite quickly. People want more girly skins for Zarya. A lot of people are not surprised but sad, like the Torbjorns, and a lot of people were asking for more cute skins for Miss Zarya. From the Zarya community, I found this pretty interesting. They've been lazy with her skins. The last Battle Pass skin she got was atrocious. Give her beach-related skin with her gun as a super soaker. Let her carry a giant fire hydrant for a firefighter skin. Simply give her dress for a formal skin with her leg out and a side bang swoop. Make her a magical girl. Oh, she doesn't fit. And yet, Hanzo's depressed ass is walking around and meowing like a cat. His brother is lying on furry pink pillows for a victory pose. Ilari got put into the K-pop collab. And the psychologically tortured assassin Widowmaker got put into the Magical Girl lineup. There's plenty of Zarya players. She's an OG character, and plenty of OG players will still main her, myself included. I was ready and willing and able to drop $20 off the strength of a potential Marissa skin for the Street Fighter collab, because she's my fave, and it would have been refreshing to see. She isn't shaped like the other pocket pussy characters, and they pretty much ignore her because of it. They added Zarya for diversity, and just don't know what to do with her. She has a few good skins, but most of them are pretty blah. She has spoken one line in like a cinematic thing for Overwatch 2. Players don't like playing against her. Kiriko's the usual cutesy tiny Japanese girl. Yes, her nationality matters because it's fetishized to extremes. I wish they gave Zarya something more girly and honestly, or maybe a lifeguard skin, but actually make her look like the heavyweight powerlifter she is. I think she's based loosely off Tatiana Katarina anyway. IDK, I'm still happy with what we have for her. I just need Snowboarder to return. She's so cute. From the Hog mains, in a nutshell, people were saying they get good skins already, but they do want more Battle Pass skins. They like, at least you have good skins, you know? And trying to be a little bit more positive, or, you know, just thinking, well, a lot of the skins were not that good anyways when they released them. So that's kind of like the Hog community in a nutshell. A notable post I found was, as a Hog and Rhine main, it's starting to see how my two mains are getting treated in terms of cosmetics, not just for the skins, but like highlight intros or victory poses. I think the obvious answer is that Hog just isn't a popular character like Rhine, so his sales numbers are naturally much lower, which in turn leads to less priority. It doesn't help that Hawk is one of those character designs that I personally find terribly difficult to design a nice theme skin for him. So much so that I've been using his Overwatch 2 default skin for the past year or so. In contrast, I would cycle through several Rhine skins and love every one of them. I think Midas was the last good Hog skin I actually liked. Saber Hog is fine, but I really dislike the bright orange. Lifeguard Hog could have been great for me, but I can't get past the ugly scandals. I'm really hoping that Hog gets a mythic skin and it comes out next season or soon. It's actually goated. And then I went to the Ball, Winston, and Junk subreddits. In the Ball subreddit findings, I found that he's least popular. He's not sexy enough. Fewer players play him because he's harder to play. And then people were saying that the reason he doesn't get many skins is because he's not new anymore. An interesting finding I found from the Ball main subreddit is, I'm not surprised at the lack of skins because they focus on the popular characters. For cosmetics, people who play Ball are very dedicated and tend to be one tricks, but there isn't that many, especially compared to Curie or Mercy players. I think it's harder to design a skin for him because he always needs to be inside of his mech, and the mech always needs to be somewhat circular. They can obviously do some great stuff with it. There's a lot of amazing examples, but I do not think it would make a certain themes difficult if there's something not associated with the concept that can be turned into a ball. The last reason is, even though we love our boy and would be happy for new cosmetics, I feel like most Ball players aren't really the type to buy skins, unless they really like them. Also, so many of us feel like the shape of the ball makes gameplay feel smoother. It's a mental thing, but the default Overwatch 1 skin feels so good to use, and I swear I play better with it. I love Pumpkin and Submarine skins aesthetically, but the shape is too weird and bumpy. I prefer using the Overwatch recolor. From the Winston subreddit, people were a little more surprised because they thought he was a mainstay, that he's funny, he's a meme. It's kind of surprising he doesn't get many skins. And then people were saying that Curie is just more popular than Winston. Winston subreddit I personally don't care, but I think Blizzard has definitely underestimated the marketing value of Winston. My friends who have never played Overwatch can name maybe 2 heroes, and Winston's always the first one. He's a lovable, playable scientist. He represents the pure belief in good. He's got the whole Winston thing going. Low-key surprise, Winston is a very much an institutional mainstay character, not only competitive but also casual Overwatch with the haha Winston jokes and stuff. It feels like there's a cosmetic market that Blizz can really tap into for free money. I'm not a fan of that kind of thinking, but I understand that's how a business runs, and that's how Blizz generally approaches who they make skins for. So it's odd to me he has so few skins. Most of his skins are very mid. Only skins I actually like are props his basic Overwatch 1 skin, Overwatch 2 skins, some of the Overwatch League skins, the OWWC one that's so orange it practically glows, Yeti, Werewolf, both from Overwatch 1, and maybe Monkey Business. Though I think that leans a bit too hard into the ha-ha funny monkey jokes. For Junkrat and the Junkrat community, a lot of people were saying that the original skins are just way better than the Overwatch 2 ones, and people were saying that Junkrat is just like not a cash cow anyways. Last but not least, I went to the Baptiste subreddit. People say that he's sad because he's pretty. The reason why he gets no skins because no sex appeal. They're hard to make some skins. And someone actually asked for a soap skin from, I think it was Call of Duty. And then a couple of interesting findings I found in the Baptiste community was, I'm so annoyed that the devs keep catering to the same 8 white, Asian / white heroes season after season. Meanwhile, Bap, Swordsman, and Lucio get scraps. Doom is okay, but we need fun skins for Bap, even with the military / soldier ones. Pick rate and the design devs. Bap is one of, if not, the least pick support. Fewer players means fewer buyers. So unfortunately applies to my tank main of Ram. Such a cool design and so much could be done. But the tall man with the cloak and staff didn't get a damn thing in the magic themed season? The only reason is bias in the design devs. My girlfriend, who's a designer herself, pointed out the style they cater towards in the prison skins on the same handful of characters, so consistently got new ones. The Curie and Juno stuff is money driven too, of course. But Lifeweaver, the quantity of skins this man gets right now is pretty nuts and seems unserved judging by his community reputation / pick rates, but tends to fit the aesthetic and the design team loves to push. To make a long story short, the pick rate, markability of heroes, and the biases of the design team dictates who gets skins. I want to also ask just the general Overwatch community how they felt about these numbers, but unfortunately I did post about it in the different Overwatch communities. I didn't get a lot of responses, if not barely, so I can't really talk about too much of what people have said. But I also decided to ask you guys in my Discord, what do you guys think about this? So on my Discord, on the Overwatch section, I asked you guys the same thing, and I told you guys the numbers exactly. And I want to read out some of the things that I found pretty interesting. And if you guys ever want to get included with my videos or discussions, you can always just join the Discord server. That's where I probably get most of my numbers. I thought about asking on YouTube, but unfortunately, I kind of forgot. So I ended up asking on the Discord thread. Yep, I still think the gift skins to the characters are popular the / developers like. As Mercy main, I'm okay with more Mercy skins, but I also think they should have more skins all around. Adventure has gotten so little. Whatever makes them the most money, I suppose. Top 4. Not only is this huge disparity is discouraging, Kiriko and Mercy do not need to have the most skins in the game, nor do they need a skin every fucking crossover event and season. It's horrible. Lifeweaver only having 17 skins after 12 seasons also unacceptable. He's been getting a bit more love recently, but it's just sad. And Juno having 9 skins 4 seasons in is insane. She may be thick, but damn, that's crazy. Bottom 4. The bottom 4 would be understandable. 3 years ago you're telling me they can't design a skin for a giant monkey, hamster ball, and hamster, and a huge jacked woman. And Junkrat and Hog also need more skins than the two can wear together. More duo skin releases. There's only a few, and they're kind of cheeks. Venture, not my maid, but I love her character and was my first raid weapon ever. She's not getting skins. She's not your conventional body type of hot lady, which I understand. What I don't understand is not releasing a skin for her so far for Pride Month. Like, she's not the most prideful character out of the entire roster. I like Soldier, but it wasn't an easy decision to give her something. Overall, Venture needs to stop being ignored, and this so-called skin she gave her crossover 80% of people didn't drop $20. Blizzard can do better, but the activation side of the brain is trying so hard to earn some money from this game. Back to the top 4. Actually, why the hell does Kiriko have equal amount of skins gained throughout Overwatch's 2 career to Mercy, who's been around since Overwatch, should probably have gotten more skins throughout Overwatch 2. That's ridiculous as well. It goes to show how much they love the woman. Sorry if I ranted. Skins are a huge disparity in this game I'm passionate about. Was the disparity this bad before Overwatch's 2-style monetization? I remember there being favoritism for Mercy, but that's about it. Because back then they did loot boxes, and now there's more incentive for absolute slop eater sims to shovel out money for new skins for characters they already have customized. And my poor Junkertown scrungly boys lol didn't realize they're so unpopular. I had thought about drafting up a video essay before about how Overwatch is a lore sinkhole, especially Junkertown in particular. I remember the cinematics before launch of Overwatch 1. It excited me to see how they developed the world over time. Now I feel like I was a big goober a decade ago thinking they were going to do anything. Especially funny when they made a time skip reskins for the default visuals of Overwatch 2, as if any time at all passed between the lands of Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. It's the difference of Winston pressing the Assemble Agents button and starting the car, lol. As a junk main, I just want a good skin. I hope they give more characters more skins like how they did with the Street Fighter collab. Since I play all roles, a majority of the cast, I think it's really shitty that Carrie, Mercy, Juno, and Lifeweaver, all supports by the way, get the most skins, and Carrie, Juno, and Mercy dominate the collab skins too. I see why they do it though. They know the majority of support players, and they're honestly keeping Blizzard afloat. And since I do majority play tank, I play Ryan, and literally besides Ryan, because he's like the one tank getting stuff now often, I hate it, and how the skins they do come out with kind of ass for tank, and the most DPS besides the cute gals and baby Cass, though I'm not surprised at all of this whatsoever. The whole thing is honestly just business. I bet the artists at Overwatch have zero control what skins are actually being put out in the game. From a business standpoint, it's smart because it makes them money. No Overwatch 2 characters are in the bottom 4, but 3 of them are in the top 4, plus the most popular characters of Overwatch 1 in the top 4 spot. Overwatch 2 characters have more carefully designed, so they can pretty much make a skin for any of them. However, it's catered to the more cutesy and more popular characters. I understand why the top 4 is the top 4, and I'm not mad that some characters have more skins than others, but seriously, the gap between the highest and lowest is way too much, and it almost seems too far gone. Not sure what's wrong with releasing skins for the most demanded characters. It's absolutely no secret to anybody that those skins perform much better with the amount of casuals and, well, let's be honest, gooners that stockpile on Curie/Mercy skins, while Roadhog, Venture, etc. is just for some comp 1 trick who's probably already content with one skin and isn't going to make much profit. Not even only because it's a cute anime girl, but also just compare how many people can play Mercy, basically even a newborn, versus who can play the cheesy combo-based Venture. There are so many objective reasons why they churn out those skins. IDK was there to be mad about. Still waiting on for my Cass mythic, by the way. I play a lot of Kiriko and Juno, and it annoys me that they get so many skins for a few reasons. I'm not the type of person to spend a lot of money, so when Kiriko, for example, gets new skins all the time, I get a bit of a FMO, and instead of buying all the skins, I just feel bad and that I'm left out because I already got good ones not too long ago, and I won't spend money on another one so soon because I don't want to waste my money. My second reason kind of plays that as well. I want to be able to use my cute skin for a long time and get my money's worth. Like for Juno, I love the Lessa Ferem skin, but literally a few weeks later, the mythic came out too, which I'm using now. It doesn't feel like I got to use her other one long enough. I'd rather than release skins for characters I don't play more often so others can be happy too, and I can enjoy the ones I have too. I feel like that it makes the game feel lesser. For many times collabs have come out, there have been so many missed opportunities for characters because Kiriko and Juno just needed to have their slot. If a Pokemon collab ever came out, there's no Pokeball, Working Ball, I'm committing a crime in Roblox, in Minecraft, in Fortnite. I kind of want to go back and touch bases on the stats and as well as what people have said and give out my little 2 cents. For me, it's just very disheartening and kind of opens your eyes to the unconscious bias that Blizzard has for these characters. How does the only 2 black male characters end up in the bottom 5? Or Lucio, who yes is not doing that bad stat-wise, has more than half of his skins being recolors, which I've also spoken about in a previous video. And although Sojourn is at number 7, a lot of her skins are epics. So in my opinion, it still doesn't just show, like, the stats, they don't mean a whole bunch. It's just how many skins have been released, including recolors, epics, and legendaries. So that's why some of the numbers are quite higher than others. So it really does show you, like, how much they give out versus, like, you know, other characters. Like, they don't give them as much love versus, like, okay, let's say Mercy, who has, like, let's skip number like 15 different legendaries but only has 5 epics. Like, to me it really does show like the disparity and just a really big difference. I've also seen a lot of people saying that it's because sexy characters are going to sell. Yeah, Reaper, who's in the top 5, in my opinion is not sexy at all. And let's not forget Ryan. Ryan's not really that hot either. I've also seen people saying that thinner girls get more skins, and this trend in my opinion definitely does seem a lot more obvious. Despite Mate being the only female character who is not thin being in the top 10, many of our bulkier and muscular girls like Brig, Zarya, and Pharah are not so lucky. Or let's not forget to mention the thinning out of Brig, which I've also spoken about in a different video before. Even though muscular characters like Reinhardt are free to be buffed and still get love when it comes to skins. And yet, Moira, who's a thin character, very thin, doesn't get a whole lot of love. And I've also seen people say, well, it's because she's not pretty. Okay, well then there's Symmetra. Symmetra's also pretty and thin, and yet doesn't get a whole lot of love either. I'm sure people are probably not surprised when it comes to this data, but I want to put some light in the unconscious bias towards white/Asian characters that Blizzard has, as well as the double standard they have for female characters. Of course, low pick rates can totally play a role into the amount of skins they get from time to time, but at the same time, that's also not completely accurate. Lifeweaver and Reaper, who have low pick rates, are somehow in the top 5, or Moira, who's at number 5 for the highest pick rate via Overbuff, is at number 10 for amount of skins they had. I even decided to look at Baptiste on the website that I previously mentioned, which is Overbuff. He has a higher pick rate than Lifeweaver. I understand that people may think Overbuff is not accurate enough, so I even went to the Blizzard forums, and guess what? Sojourn is the second most played DPS. And although this statistic is a little bit more niche because it's like from Masters to like Diamonds, simply put, there is a double standard and an unconscious bias, which can make people feel alienated, which is what a user has said on one of the Reddit posts, which is a damn shame. My heart goes out to them. And I understand that people are going to say that it's just a game. But in my opinion, if this game promotes and say that they are diverse, that they have representation, and that is their marketing tactic, in my opinion, that just doesn't fly just to say, well, it's just a game. And I know people are going to say, well, it's because things need to sell. I completely get it. Blizzard is a company at the end of the day. It's a business. They're not about representation. They're not about diversity. They could give two shits about it. But they can still release their cash cows with the battle passes and still have characters who don't get a whole lot of love, like Baptiste in the battle pass. So at least they get something. Because I doubt anyone is not going to buy a battle pass just because, oh, Hawk is in it, or oh, Baptiste is in it, I can't buy it. As long as you still put in your little popular characters, people will still buy it. It's only $10 at the end of the day. But at the same time, they're not using that tactic very well either, because Juno has the most shop skins than any character. Only one of her skins is not a shop skin, that's a legendary, and that was her mythic skin. So in reality, they're trying to milk y'all dry as fuck. And when you guys buy all these skins, you're falling straight into their hands. Let's say maybe in like 3 seasons, 4 seasons, that's when you finally can get a battle pass skin. Or they're just going to keep doing it and giving her shop skins, because every single time she's had a shop skin except for the mythic skin. And which is pretty crazy, because they're also doing it with Kiriko. I think the only time that Kiriko did not really get a shop skin was probably like, I can't even remember honestly. I think it was the Rainy Girl one. But before then, a lot of her skins were also shop skins, forcing you to pay. So now that you're paying for this, right, they're milking the shit out of you already. In conclusion, what's the point of me making this video? I'm pretty sure people are curious about that, because I think a lot of people are assuming that it's quite obvious why certain characters get certain skins. But in reality, originally I just want to see how bad it was, so that's why I took the time to count every skin and divide it by seasons, just to see how bad it actually was. And honestly, it's just kind of crazy to me to see the unconscious bias towards the white and Asian characters, and then as well as obviously the favoritism, right, for support characters, and the double standard that Blizzard seems to have for women, which is really strange in a way because, Blizzard also had a lot of sexual allegations, so the fact that they have a double standard for women is kind of crazy in itself, right? I mean, that's why they changed the name from Jesse McCree to Cole Cassidy, because one of those people were harassing women. So at the end of the day, to me, that's just kind of crazy, but at the same time, not very surprising at all. I understand Blizzard's not going to just magically make these skins after this video. They're not. They could care less. But I just want to think maybe this might help the community a little bit to understand why certain player bases are more upset about the skin contribution system. Which is why I even went to the different subreddits and asked them the different questions, because I always thought that, they were going to be a little bit more upset at the bottom 5, But I saw, like the Winston mains didn't seem to mind all that much, or the Hog mains. So I just want to put into some light, I guess, about how they feel, and that's why I approached them about it. So sorry it took me forever to make this video. I just didn't know where I want to go with it. And I'm also working on a different skin video specifically about Venture, their little fiasco when it came to the quick flip-flop from no skins at all in 4 seasons to now getting a skin almost every season now since then. But regardless, that's why I want to make a different video on that, because this video is already too long. Thank you for everyone who stuck around for this very long video. I understand that it's super long and not everyone's gonna be into it. My throat is dead, but thank you for everyone who stuck around and watched the whole thing, because it was kind of sad, for me at least, to see what's going on. A quick shout out to my members: Wacky, Wakito, Woo Woo, aka Wacky number 2, Fruit Bowl, Jerry Rico, Manny 2062, Faded Visions, Onesie Lightyear, Peace Tea Life, Ansley Ledger. If you guys want to join these amazing people under my membership and have several different perks as well as support this channel, small hammies, it's 99 cents and it will have loyalty badges and perks. Hammies will have access to early videos and that is $1.99 a month. Big Hammy is $3.99 a month. It comes with photo updates, a custom note that will write you 3 times a year. Biggest Hammy, which is $7.99 a month, all perks above, custom Twitch command, and you get to pick my character's cosplay during October.